Yes, this is the tourist market, downtown Puerto Vallarta. But amazingly, right upstairs from all the tchotchkes, there's a really classic fonda, actually several of them up here, serving traditional food done in the classic earthenware cazuelas, things like the pork and tomatillo sauce. This is a northern style machaca, that's shredded beef with scrambled eggs and a tomato sauce with vegetables and poblano chili. This is pork ribs stewed with red chili guajillo and cactus. They've got this great menu board here to show you exactly what they have to offer. Everything from eggs at the top, enchiladas, flautas, the classic mole poblano. Oh, there's some bistec. You know what that is? That's that really thin cut beef. And it says that they'll prepare it al gusto, however you would like it to be. I bet they could do a bang up job with a la mexicana. And I'm ready for lunch. Señora, por favor. Sí, me gustaría una orden de bistec a la mexicana. Ah, muchas gracias. Plate of real food. And you know the truth? It's just as easy to find here in Puerto Vallarta as that fast food down on the waterfront. I'm gonna doctor it up with a little more green chili. I'm gonna squeeze a lime. Yeah, good hot tortilla. And I'm ready to dig in. Now, anything a la mexicana is probably going to involve tomatoes and green chilies. I'm just chopping up a little tomato here to make something like a salsa a la mexicana. You know, that chopped tomato salsa with green chilies and some cilantro. But I've got a pretty easy home way to do that involves using a food processor. The first thing that I do is use the processor to help me chop up the green chilies. These are the Serrano chilies, the bullet-shaped ones, pretty spicy but quite delicious. You could use some jalapeno if that suits your taste. One big one would be good. Turn on the food processor and drop those slowly in. Allow the processor to do the mincing for you. You can't put too many at once if you want that to be effective. And then I'm going to drop a clove of garlic in there too and let that bounce around and chop into tiny little bits. Now when that's pretty well chopped there, I'll turn it off and open it up and add to it a bunch of quartered tomatoes. Got about a pound of tomatoes total. Half of them are going to go in here along with a bunch of cilantro. I just tore the top of a bunch of cilantro off. Now I'm going to pulse that until I get a coarse puree. Okay, that looks pretty chopped and nice to me there. I'm going to add that to the diced tomatoes. Just slide those right into a bowl there and then scrape this mixture in along with it. Yeah. And that takes a lot of the time out of making a beautiful fresh tomato salsa. A little salt goes in there, and if I was going to serve this over a piece of grilled fish or chicken, or maybe even scoop it up with some chips, well, I would add a little touch of fresh squeezed lime juice, maybe a dash of vinegar if I didn't have any limes around. Looks pretty good. But for this preparation, I'm going to do bistec a la mexicana. So what is the bistec part? Well, it's this really thinly cut beef, and you could buy it at a Mexican grocery, or in your regular grocery, look for something like a sandwich steak, a really thin cut piece. And what we've got here, I bought at the Mexican grocery near here, and you could see it's sort of like a very thin cut piece of, looks like round steak here. I'm going to cut the fat off of it and then cut what's left into smallish pieces that I'm going to sear and then season with that salsa mexicana that we made there. That looks pretty good. Now you could do that searing and sizzling in a big skillet, but I find a lot more control in my wok, so I dug that out and I've put it over the heat. It's been heating here the entire time that I've been making the salsa. So it's going to be pretty hot, and I'm going to drizzle in a little bit of oil here. You'll see a little wisp of smoke come up right away. And then in a couple of batches, I'm going to stir fry our meat until it's nice and brown. I'm going to just leave that there, and I'm going to pick up the salsa and go right into the same pan. Now I'm going to slide our bistec a la mexicana into a pretty serving dish and sprinkle it with some chopped green onions. If I was making that salsa just to use for some chips or as a finished condiment, I would have put the chopped green onion right into it. You know, when I get in the mood for simple, honest market flavors, I like to serve a dinner with home-cooked black beans, a fresh salad, a bowl of limes to squeeze over the top of this to just perk it up, just bring out all that gorgeous flavor. That's about the most satisfying family dinner I can imagine. Time for an afternoon snack. Nothing hits the spot like a 2-bite tamal. This place I'm going to take you to, well, it's right in the heart of Puerto Vallarta, but, well, it's not for the tourists, it's for the locals. No signs in English, there's certainly no fancy marketing, but the best clue of all is that they make their own masa. That means that they start with dried corn and they boil it until it's just right, then they grind it, make the masa, the dough that they use to make the tamales, the sort of thick batter, spread it onto corn husks or banana leaves, choose one of a variety of fillings, roll them up, and then steam them until they're done. That usually takes about an hour. Look at this beautiful salsa made from roasted tomatoes and roasted tomatillos, arbol chili. I'm spooning it on a tamal they call Esquinapa style, after a town in Sinaloa in northwestern Mexico. It's got a great big shrimp right in the middle of it. It's the last time you had a shrimp tamal. Oh, that's tasty. This one is Oaxacan style with black mole done in banana leaves. So here's tip number 2. Always search out a nice looking tamaleria because they make artisanal food that's really tasty and it's all wrapped up in beautiful little packages.